Yeah, so now we're gonna check out, this joint right here. A black woman gives epic history lesson. But I was saying the same thing because they should be just as old or older than I am, and they remember because they was around. You know what I'm saying? And they know exactly when the time of the changing of black people voting even Democrat and the psychology and the psyche of what took place in that time that made black people start teaching their kids or even holding in front of the kids a democratic mind frame. But when you really look at it, it was LBJ, around I think the 70s, might have even been the early 70s, where he formulated the Black Caucus Party. And when he formulated the Black Caucus Party, he used the Black Caucus Party to devalue civil rights. This is how he was able to devalue the civil rights, even though he had to pass the bill. Because the bill was already on the table and being pushed as hard as can be by Martin Luther King and many other civil rights leaders at the time. Andrew Jackson and a whole lot of them. Even John Lewis, I think, was pushing at that time as well. You know what I mean? And when John F. Kennedy got assassinated and Robert F. Kennedy got assassinated, you know, it put a damper on the mind frame of the Republican attitude of the black people, even though at that time with John F. Kennedy, you could really say that's what made, not only in more ways than one, the changing of the mind frame to demon Democrats, because John F. Kennedy and his brother were Democrats, and, Martin Luther King and them was dealing with that situation and all that. You see that was going on at the time. But at the same time, he had a sort of friendship relationship with John F. Kennedy and Robert Kennedy. And you know, by talking and having their little conferences, and so Martin Luther King and John F. Kennedy and Kennedy passed, put the bill before the Congress. The Civil Rights Bill, and then he was assassinated, and his brother, and so forth on. But even after Kennedy was assassinated and Lyndon B. Johnson took over, he decided, that all of a sudden now he gonna start doing certain little gestures, like, what she's gonna be explaining in this clip that we about to watch. He started, doing shit like that, formulating Black Caucus Party and all this, and even made a promise talking about, that black people think they're going just because they think they're so smart and push this bill and made me have to force my hand to push it because the country was pushing on it. And the black people as well. They were the majority of the vote at that time. They were the majority vote. So he decided to keep the demon Democrats in power. That, he gonna pass the civil rights bill and the welfare bill and all type of shit like that. But when you look at it, he only did it for the fact of fooling black people into keep voting Demon Democrat, and he passed the civil rights bill, but made sure that he made a promise that we weren't going to think we were so smart that we were not going to get anything out of it in his mind frame. If you go back and look at many of his uh, clips and the things he said after he took over after Kennedy, you'll see the racist garbage within him. And I was saying the same thing in the very beginning. I even, had did a couple of videos on that subject, in my other lives, my other video, about that whole situation and how he used the Black Caucus Party to do his bidding. So, without further ado, let's check out this lady and this man doing a live on the street. He's getting a live in, as to, you know what I'm saying, what he's asking this lady. Well, listen to what she has to say. It's very important.
Jane. That Hunter Biden laptop story. Arguments against that. And I want to see how it goes. So, black Americans are voting Democrat at a rate of 90%.
Yes.
And despite that, 38% of black children are living in poverty.
Yes.
73% of black mothers are single mothers.
Yes.
40% of government assistance cases are black Americans.
Yes.
Do you think that the Democratic Party is serving black Americans well?
No, I don't. No, I don't.
You agree?
And you have to remember that it was the Republican Party that started. In the beginning, black people was for the Republicans. And what year? I don't remember when it got turned around. But, right, yes.
Under Johnson.
Under Johnson.
When he signed
right.
the welfare bill.
The New Deal.
Yes,
Yeah.
the New Deal. Yeah. Thank you.
I know my history.
Thank you. I don't
What is your name?
Well.
Alberta Frederick. Black people voted Republican. In fact,
Yes.
And listen, don't let any black people see this. All right, don't let any. I would normally say send this to all of your black friends. Nah, just share this on your social media platform so that the people who you follow. I mean, the people who follow you or the people you communicate with on a daily basis could see the type of content you tune into, and if they're not all used to family, that shake needed in order for them to come on over and see the type of content we share over here. But this conversation right here is necessary because a lot of black people don't believe or don't know. It's from a lack of knowledge, and sometimes it's from a not from a lack of knowledge, just from they don't have a desire to be proven wrong or feel like they've been on the wrong side of history for so long. But they need to hear this right here. This is a necessity.
in fact, they was the ones who, when Lincoln was in office, black people was all in that office until Woodrow Wilson, the Democrat, took him out. The racist that he was, okay, he took him out, left one, and he had to share the party that he was in, share whatever office that he is in with a Democrat white person, okay? That was Woodrow Wilson who did that. And then the ones that was Democrats and they were black, they were the slave owners, because almost 4,000 blacks were slave owners.
I want to say you're not supposed to say that in public. You're definitely not supposed to say that to a white man. No, seriously, and it's silly. It's
Why you shouldn't say that is a question, because the truth is still the truth.
silly. But what I'm saying is absolutely the truth. Certain things that black people know to be true, like there being black slave owners, okay, we know that there was black slave owners. But when you start saying that there were black slave owners by the thousands, black people don't want to hear that.
Well,
That's one thing that we like to keep locked up
the
somewhere.
truth is the
We don't
truth.
want to keep that hush, keep that on the low, all right? Everybody don't need to be hearing this. So we done already crossed those boundaries, things that we're supposed to be protecting and not supposed to let get out the gate. But fortunately and unfortunately for some, it's getting out there.
And they treated the blacks treated their slaves worse than the white man. And at the same time, not only was the white man 10% of the white population that was slave owners, the one that was pushing up right behind them with the most slaves was the Cherokee Indians. Okay, that's my family. And then
What? Wait a minute. So black people had thousands of black slave owners, according to Mama.
We already
Then there
know
was a
this.
bunch of Native Americans,
We already know that because one of the biggest slave revolts that took place, I think, on the Cherokee or I forgot which one it was. It might have been the Cherokee. So because what you don't understand historically is that the white men used the Cherokee and raped the Cherokee women and the black women and different women that you call the red man today is really black. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying, with the raping and the carrying on, they created a whole bunch of bastard children that, you know what I'm saying, that mix with many of the Europeans in many ways, and that's why you see they have the same phenotype. And what proved that, coming from the General Sarah Sultan Seti, is their hair. If you look at their hair, they have the same hair type as the Europeans. So that means, you know what I'm saying, that was definitely a crossbreeding or a definite race that was brought in or have migrated and had came over, that they were calling or was part of even the trading and the so forth on with the Ottoman the Ottoman Empire, not the Ottoman damn, I forgot the name of them, the group that was in South America as well, you know what I'm saying, but we see where they have mixed in even across the land prior and mixing the race and genetically was changing even much of that. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at what you call an Indian, with straight hair, that's a Eurocentric one. You know what I'm saying? The original people that they call Indians were black. And we already know that. You know what I'm saying? And many of the slave owners that were owning slaves were Africans that came even by way of Africa themselves and were engaging in that because they're the ones who helped them in more ways than one to do a lot of this because they didn't just do it on their own. You know what I mean? So we still see that factor in itself. But let's carry on.
Like the natives, the Indians who were here, who also owned slaves. I'm trying to tell y'all this right now. This is the first time hearing this. This is my very first time hearing this. Now, you know what?
Not me.
I might accidentally cut off this video because I'm going to have some black people mad at me for putting it out there. Did you see Van's new video? Oh, I thought he was crazy yesterday talking about Trump was good. But today he put out a video talking about black people. There was thousands of black slave owners. And not only that, but the natives, the poor natives who we done took the land from, they also were slave owners. What?
And the third ones was the black Americans that was here. That was the free men, the free slaves, and the free men. The former slaves and the free men. They was the one who ran the Republican Party, okay, until Woodrow Wilson. And at the same time, like I said, the vast majority of your black slave owners was the Democrats.
That's right.
Yeah, were the Democrats.
A lot of people don't realize that the KKK was an arm of the Democratic.
They was an and then at the same time they became even more popular under LBJ. Right. And then at the same time, because he was a Ku Klux Klan, and I remember because I was 13 years old when I went to that Civil Rights March. Okay, when Martin Luther King, who was a Republican.
That's right.
Who was a Republican. All right. The thing is that most of your entertainers, black entertainers and stuff like that, they all voted Republican. And the reason why a lot of the Democrats get into office, because when blacks was able to vote, okay, when they were able to vote, and they knew the Democrats knew that the black people held Republican tickets, they took their tickets out of their hands and put 2 Democrats in the box. Okay, that's how they got back into the office, the Democrats. Okay, that's how they ruled Maine. Because they stuffed up the ballot box. Just like Al Gore, who was Ku Klux Klan, his father, when LBJ was signing the Civil Rights Bill, his father, the Grand Wizard, okay, was out there having a fit, doing the filibuster.
I think she could teach a course.
Wow, this lady right here, she is on fire. And you know, the entire time I thought that the first lady that was being interviewed would be the one who would school us about whatever we're supposed to be receiving, because all the title says is Black Woman in Harlem gives epic history lesson. And I'm like, okay, he's already interviewing a black woman, and there's just so happened to be a black lady that's listening alongside, but I thought that she would just throw in some things here and there. I didn't know that she was going to take over and give us all of this information, pass this on to your children, so that your children could pass this on to their friends, and when their friends see this information, they will at least have the conversation. Nobody's trying to flip anyone. I can give a damn who's a Democrat and listen to this and decide to become a Republican after this. No, I don't care about stuff like that. I do care about you hearing information objectively, listening, going and doing your own research, and then saying what she is saying was true. Or, based off of my own due diligence, what she is saying is complete BS. It's bull sugar honey iced tea. And I can show you. It says it right here, and 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 right here. All right? Oh my goodness, please share this.
Could I ask you a couple questions? Because if I may, I voted Democrat my whole life because I believed that they cared about gay people. I believe that they cared about black people, about brown people. I don't believe that anymore. I walked away from the Democratic Party. I created something called the Walkaway Campaign.
Okay.
You started it?
I started it.
Hold up, that's good. Is that Brandon? What's his name? It's Brandon. God gracious, I forgot his daggone name. The young dude that started Walkaway Campaign. Excellent job, my man. Excellent job, Brandon Straka. Brandon Straka.
Have you heard of it?
Yes.
I heard. Owens and all those folks. Yeah.
Yes. So we made a movie called The Great Awakening, Breaking the Chains of the Democratic Party. It's made with the testimonials of 20 black Americans who have walked away. It's amazing. Why are 90% of black people still voting Democrat when the Democrats don't care?
Because the Democrats made it seem like under LBJ that they was becoming like the Republican. Never mind, the Republican never gave you welfare.
Right.
They never gave you welfare. And the black people said, oh, well, we needed welfare. No, you never did. We was doing fine without it.
That's right.
I think so too.
How much fine without it? But since when people know that, because even Booker T. Washington, he talked about why he noticed that how when he did the Tuskegee Institute thing, you had to make your own bed. Okay?
Guys, if y'all can go out there and find any information that debunks, I'm looking for some debunking, because people who are finding information to debunk this information that we're looking at right now, they go hard when it comes to research, all right, about the natives owning slaves, about thousands of black people owning slaves, about free black people just owning slaves. Like this right here, I need to see it. Alamaro says that this information is solid, nothing but truth here. Hey, I'm believing it. Listen, I'm believing it for now because I'm going to go look my daggone self. All right? And I want to see, man. But this lady right here, she's dropping science. And my question is this. What does she have to, what does she benefit from this? What do any of those ladies benefit from this? Huh? What does any of these ladies benefit from this? They don't have a platform that they're trying to sell. They're not going to make any money, or their friendships aren't going to change their life after this right here. I think what they benefit from giving the truth is that many people will start to wake up. My reasoning for a lot of black people voting Democrat is we are locked in with being consumers, and we buy anything that's sold to us. And we don't go out there and do our own due diligence. And we believe in the superhumans who look like us. And those superhumans who look like us, quote unquote superhumans, the superhumans that look like us are the singers, the R&B singers, the rappers, the actors, those type of people. And when we hear what they have to say, and they are all on the side of, they hate us over there. It seems like Hollywood has purchased black people through entertainment, through fake education, making us believe that our social credit score is more important than anything else, and not believed, and no one supports us, and people walk away and talk crap about us because we decide to think differently than everybody else in our communities, where everybody else in our communities are simply being sheep who are being led by these individuals who are all puppets, who are all being told that if you don't provide this type of information to your people or to your platform, then you can be canceled. Think about any rapper, any artist, any actor, any actress, any politician who buys into this stuff, who buys into the Democratic Party being the best thing since sliced bread. The Democratic Party was the first party to vote in the first black president, and all those things. When you see just that, you're like, whoa, maybe they are the only people that's for us. They're giving us welfare so that we can take care of our families. Us not knowing everything behind the whole welfare thing. They're giving us abortions because they know how difficult it is for us to raise children in our conditions, in our neighborhoods and communities. So they know that our black men are being arrested at very young ages and at mass, and these women aren't able to raise children by themselves, so they promote abortions, they promote pills to do it yourself, and all those things. And they're promoting the vaccine, they're promoting all this stuff that got us believing that they have our best interests at heart, where the whole time we're being played and we don't even know it.
So when the rich people wanted to send their kids there, he told them I guess they put in a note, they don't want the child to do this and this thing, that. He just looked at it, tossed it away, and told the kid, you want a bed? Here's the wood. Okay? Wow. Make your own bed. He said,
I love that.
And then and then at the same time, Frederick Douglasson always said, you want to help the black man? Don't. Because they know you give somebody something all the time, just like a child.
Right. They don't want to do
you get some right. Earn your keep.
And don't you remember that phrase, teach a man to fish? Is it that?
Right, you teach him how to fish.
You don't give him a fish.
Okay? Because even Jesus said when they was up after he fed the 5,000, and then they come to the Pharaoh and they want to hear. He said, no, you came to me not because you wanted to hear what I have to say and this thing, because I fed you.
Right.
So they want to get fed again for free.
Don't you think it's time for a change?
I do. I really think it's time for a change.
Yeah, and this guy Cuomo, I remember his father. His father was nothing.
Right. Really? Yes, I do agree.
His father was nothing. And he's worse than his father. Talking about he doesn't want a conservative in this, not welcome here. Well, look, I'm not Borg. You ever watch Star Trek?
I don't.
Oh, well, I saw Star Trek.
Right.
I am not a Borg.
Right.
Okay? Now you go look at Star Trek and find out what a Borg is.
Yes,
You know?
they conform.
I am not a Borg. I'm allowed to have my own mind. I'm allowed to be an individual. God made me an individual. He didn't make me a conglomerate. Okay? If I don't like your thinking, some people say, oh, all of us black people got to stick together.
No.
I said, no, I'm not going to stick together with you because, one, just like all black people don't look alike, I don't have to do what you're doing.
Facts. Black people are not a monolith. We don't all speak the same, think the same, move the same, fight the same, nothing the same. I mean, we really don't. Even within the community, even within the hood, even within those environments where we consider them to be underserved communities and set up for failure, not everybody think the same. We've all come from that same pot, but guess what? Some of us are going to believe that we're victims and wait to be saved. Some of us are going to believe that we've been giving the worst and no one's coming to save us, nobody care about us, and we're going to say, well, since I'm already dirty, I might as well get dirtier because this is the only way to get it. And there are many people out there who will stamp that. I'm talking about artists who will stamp that, all right? But then you have people from the same community who bust their ass on a daily basis. They have jobs, they have side gigs. There's no jobs in this community. Well, they find a way to get to the money and legal ways. They find legal ways to get to it. And not only that, they're part of groups, they're part of programs, they're part of teams. They do their homework, they study hard, they still take education seriously. They have have dreams and goals for themselves. They still take time out of their day or their week or months to teach other people, to give back to the community. There's so many different things that's wrong with teaching people that we are all the same and we should all be for the same person and for the same ideas and all this other stuff. Nah, bruh. I've never been that way. That's a lie. I have. That's a lie. I have. If one black person is upset about something, then we all upset about something. If one black person goes to a restaurant and is treated some type of way, we don't attribute that to their personality or their actions or anything that they've done to deserve the reaction that they received from that company, from that restaurant, from that business. We automatically assume that it's a race issue.
I don't see a D
Hey, Angel.
stamped on your forehead.
No. I teach my child the color is not a hindrance. You don't go out there and read a book and study like you're supposed to. Okay? Nobody owes you anything.
I have to go into the Apollo, so
Can I give both of you ladies a hug?
please
Yeah.
do. I'll see you on Wednesday,
told you
right?
Thanks for talking. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
But what much of what she's saying is true. You know what I'm saying? No, all of it, what she's saying is true. Basically, I'm sorry about that, but I mean, everything she's saying is true. Not disbelieving anything, because I know the same knowledge that she's kicking on the same vibe. That's exactly what happened. Everything she said is completely true. You know what I'm saying? But, you know what I'm saying, in more ways than one, the reason why a lot of people don't know this information is because they parents never really taught it to them. The only thing they taught them is to vote Demon Democrat. Coming off the LBJ and John F. Kennedy them era, and LBJ sabotaging the Republican Party in all ways. You see what I'm saying? Stuffing the ballot boxes. As you can see, what we see today, same measure with creep Joe Biden, stuffing the ballot boxes, cheating in the Electoral College, you know what I'm saying? Even took away the popular vote. So you see, all have been consistently being set up to fit the demon democratic or cheating ways and to keep him in power. While other people, is not paying attention to majority they're not paying attention to majority of what's really going on based on much of that situation. The only thing they see is the fact of that they're a Democrat and that's it, and they have to defend that like life and death. You know what I'm saying? Even when Mr. Joe Brown spoke on that matter, Joe Brown dropped that science on that matter based on the bullshit that they be doing. So you see it for yourself. Even an elder woman was saying the same thing I was saying. And I'm sure there's a lot of other black people that have that same knowledge as well, but not devaluing from this lady because she dropped it hot, fresh, and off the plate. Good mind frame that this woman has. This goddess was able to, spit it out, one time for your mind. And that's what a lot of black people need. Because when I was saying it, everybody was looking at me like I was a criminal and don't know what I'm talking about LBJ and how he tried to swindle the black people into Demon Democrat and did, because, he was giving up things that black people need or things that, they were making black people think they were getting something, but at the same time, not really, in all ways. Social service is a good program, but it's not a program for black people to be sticking on or even teaching their kids to depend on all the days of their life. I've been on it and still was on it and so forth and so forth. You know what I mean? And in more ways than one, it's only there when you fall down. But you should be trying to do better at all times and not just fall down. And when you do, get back up on your feet. We need more black people to be entrepreneurs, starting businesses and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? investing in real estate, stockbrokers, all these different types of things going on, even creating these things from a government standpoint that's legally, and have a way of keeping honest business and showing prosperity, not criminality. You know what I'm saying? So in more ways than one, what she's saying is 100% on that dime. You know what I'm saying? She's got it together. So we need more black people to do the same in that matter. You know what I'm saying? In that matter. So this was a very good one right here. And I love this one from my man. I gave him a thumbs up. LFR family. You know what I'm saying? 944K subscribers. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hit the notification bell, get my personal jammy jam. And to have my man, when he drops his joint, do it. We have to start networking and sharing, because sharing amongst us is definitely caring for everyone else on planet Earth. This is what we have been doing, and this is what we will do until our time of each passes. There will be another and another. But at the same time, LBJ did do that. He did do that. And he made sure that he made a promise that we won't go get nothing out of civil rights, because he just, like she said, was Ku Klux Klan. So, you could see where the Demon Democrats were slave masters, and they had definitely had the political scene before back early times they had a Demon Democratic Party, and then you have the Republicans, the pre-black men and so on came in and so forth and so on. But even in those aspects, there was a lot of corruptions amongst many of our people, and many of them, we know they have always ran that corruption. So, when it comes to slavery and shit, well, many other things they were running on even their own people as well. You know what I'm saying? So don't think that the white people had it that great. They got their asses tossed up many times, and even tricked into wars and killing and murdering and wars and wars and wars, as we see what's going on today. You know what I'm saying? As they stuff the ballot boxes and cheat the electoral college, you know what I'm saying, and all kinds of crazy moves, you know what I'm saying, open border policy, a vaccine program, censoring the media, you know what I'm saying, all these things, and then people are going right along with it because, you know what I'm saying, you've been taught to be just a Demon Democrat, but as you heard what this lady said, and you need to go back and look at what she said and really do your understanding of it and your research. Because all that she said, I already knew. You know what I'm saying? Even when Lyndon B. Johnson lied under oath, and I think he extended the Vietnam War even further, keeping them boys, our soldiers over there getting killed and shit like that. Many of the heroin and shit like that was coming from Vietnam, you know what I'm saying, and places like that over there, you know what I'm saying, with their bull, you know what I'm saying, and it was coming into the country and causing a lot of problems within even our neighborhoods, where it was shutting down entire neighborhoods and so on. Many things that occurred crookedly through that time. But Lyndon B. Johnson made sure that he formulated, I believe, under his watch, the Black Caucus Party. You know what I'm saying? And the Black Caucus Party was supposed to be, you know what I'm saying, to me, it was supposed to be Republican, but it turned out to be a Demon Democratic Black Caucus Party, if you ask me. You know what I'm saying? And they really didn't do much for black people other than swindle black people into, again, voting Demon Democrat. And this is how a lot of that took place during his time, because even Lyndon B. Johnson, as a Ku Klux Klan Grand Poobah and the rest of his knucklehead group, you know what I'm saying, he was up there calling us Negroes on TV. You know what I'm saying? Even when he was giving many of his addresses and speeches, he would call and address black people as Negroes, you know what I'm saying? And we're not Negroes, we're Africans. And beyond that, we're more than that, not just the name. And this is where many of African people need to start to come alive, and start playing around. You know what I'm saying? and show your true potential based on your science knowledge and wisdom and understanding, not just for your people, but now even for the people of the world. Is one of the things that we should be doing. So we have to wake up to these things. It's highly important that we do. But as you can see, this lady has her facts to crack many, many backs. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, when even back in COVID, in the early days, you know what I'm saying, I was out here preaching that same thing. I was out here dropping a lot of that sign. You know what I'm saying? Because not just me knew it, but many other people knew it. But I thought it would be something that people need to take a look at as to a pattern that leads up to what we see now. And that even goes for what we call the border crisis. You know what I'm saying? That's another one of their famous plans, you know what I'm saying? But when you look at the reality of that, why would you open our borders to every single body in the whole entire world? You know what I'm saying? No country can sustain even that type of onslaught when you really look at it. So Creep Joe Biden has betrayed us in all ways while he was preaching this bullshit. Like I said, that's why they have 6 Baphomet statues in front of 6 state buildings in the South. If you look up and you'll see what Baphomet is, you will also see the kind of mind frame that they have put 6 of these statues in front of 6 state capitals in the South, even Detroit, like I was saying, you know what I'm saying? If you go look at the state capitol, you would see it, you know what I'm saying? And then have the nerve to say, this is your new commandments, and all got a little plaque over there with it and all that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? And then once that was established over that time, you know what I'm saying, they have ramped up the speed of their Luciferian business in itself, even swearing Creep Joe Biden in onto me a Luciferian Bible. You know what I'm saying? In all ways. And then went completely berserk by cheating our elections, stuffing ballot boxes, cheating Donald J. Trump out of his election. Because if it was legally done in its rightful ways and not cheated, Trump would have blew Biden clean out the water because everybody knew that he was a creep. You know what I'm saying? But this is what these socialists and Marxists and totalitarian and deep state and all kinds of crazy motherfucker is trying to do to the world and our country and have been doing to the world, but now want to do it to the United States in its fullness in all ways. And they have done it several different times in many different ways. You know what I'm saying? Don't think that this was just one, the first one in its grand scale. No, it wasn't. They have done many things to the United States and the American people under the demon democratical mind frame, and even crooked Republicans from time to time, you know what I'm saying, and probably even all the time because they agreed along with it because they have the vote in Congress, so we know who's running their show. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, we see where we have Donald J. Trump, and it's supposed to be the big slam a lama ding dong. But it goes beyond just Trump, and that's what people have to understand. You know what I'm saying? This go for the whole entire waking up of black people as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're going to find yourself, you know what I'm saying, in a position to do business. You know what I'm saying? And you should be doing business. You know what I mean? Especially with all the influx of these people, they're going to need services. You know what I'm saying? If many of you black people have an entrepreneur idea of a service that you could offer these people in more ways than one while they are here based on even being a consumer, you know what I'm saying? You should have been on top of it by now. You know what I'm saying? Instead of solely just voting demon democratical bull and making them believe that this is what it is. It's important for us to see that now. You know what I mean? But at the same time, even on the political scale, we need to straighten that out. Because now we're going to find ourselves in very bad positions, even politically, if you keep on voting in demon Democrat or even some maybe a Republican who's thinking the same as a demon Democrat because they have infiltrated both sides. You know what I'm saying? And that's very sad. And the reason why this is capable of, where we need to see more Republican black people, you know what I'm saying, out there at this high level. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, why I don't see a lot, to me sometimes, is because a lot of black people have been dissuaded into sliding away from even that type of revolutionary fight to where they're more into, been swindled into, drug selling gangs, murder, killing, and, you know, gang life. You know what I'm saying? And using rap music to do so. But we know there's a lot of black people who probably don't. You know what I'm saying? More ways than one don't. But at the same time, we have many that do, because we still are faced with a lot of mental illnesses in our community. You know what I'm saying? And this must be addressed by all means, because many of those people was only going to live a regular life. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it is. But those of us who are, educated, and so even in our old days, must find ways to start businesses and entrepreneurship, and lively up our community, and drive away a lot of this gangsterism and killing and murdering every day of our own people by the hands of our own people. Because you heard what the lady said. You know what I'm saying? And that goes for even at reservations and everywhere else as well. There must be a cleaning out of the corruption, the drugs, and the different things that are not profitable to our people. And the things that are profitable for our people, we must drive forward with all our might to make sure that the prosperity and the growth of the economical status of our people is there for the future, for our children and your children as well. And when it comes to reparation, also the same thing applies, because look at the con artist games that the LBJ them and the Demon Democrats have been doing to black people for many, 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 many years. It's not something that started yesterday. You know what I'm saying? But we have to get our share in this matter, and we have to get it now. We can't be waiting for reparations. You want reparations, then start with real estate. You know what I'm saying? Because you have black people living, under high conditions, where you have others on reservations who's living with free as charge. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at black people and what has happened to them due to the service conditions and many other groups on planet Earth, one thing that you hear in America that you owe is the black man for sure. You know what I'm saying? And probably a couple other races, but we talking about black people right now. But you know what I'm saying? You owe us for the garbage you did to us and the atrocities that was imposed on our people that drove us here in the first place. You know what I mean? You owe us, some real estate on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And we would like to get our shit together rather than have to be paying you for every fucking thing you say you own. You don't own it. You stole it. You robbed it by the point of a gun. You know what I'm saying? And many other bullshit that you brought onto this land, and then you try to justify it through a political or governmental terms. You know what I'm saying? And then say that it's yours, and put black people under bad conditions in many ways. Now we have the ability to work hard to get where we want and stand up, but you also still owe us. It does not going to take away the fact of the matter that you don't. Yes, you do. And you owe us big time. So, you know what I'm saying? All the other races who may have the same query or quarrel must take up their own fight for their people. But right now, I am black, and we're talking for black people at this moment, based on reparations or whatever you want to call it. The Demon Democrats love to talk so much about it. You know what I'm saying? But in the meantime, many of my people are dying poor. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the stability and stuff like that they could have, you know what I'm saying, and should have had, because more resources bring more education and more goodness that could have been brought to my people. But you want to miseducate them into voting for Demon Democrats while you jam them up the butt with no grease. And we're tired of that stupid cornball off the wall bullshit talking about even LGBTQ. You know what I'm saying? We have a lot of mental illness in our community that must be healed, you know what I'm saying, over time and generations because, there's still seeing a focus that is not focusing politically that way it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? Even when it comes to historically when the black people had the majority vote, you know what I'm saying? Whenever something happened, you've seen it in many films and stuff where the black people will say, well, we're gonna make sure that you don't get back in this year and we're gonna vote you out. You know what I'm saying? If you go back and look at a lot of the old films, you know what I'm saying, the 70s and shit like that, and when it came to political issues and so forth and so on. And so even in the movie Lean on Me with Morgan Freeman. You know what I'm saying? I think it was called Lean on Me, that movie. You know what I'm saying? If you look, the woman told the man that I guess he was a mayor or whatever he was, and said if he want to be reelected next year, that he would do something about the school. You know what I'm saying? But that to show you how much power that the black people had in the community at that point, even in the standard conditions in which they were in, based on the oppression and oppressors and oppression upon our people continuously through the political arena. So we have to definitely look at this thing from a good perspective and start to look forward as to putting forth even our own candidates. Because remember, even after Trump may win again, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't know what going to take place in the whole operation of this, but we know this is the direction in which the country must go based on putting a candidate in there right now because the 2024 election is coming up on our back, and I don't see many black people or black candidates or many candidates who are stepping up to do this glorious work. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said before, if I was the president of the United States, you know what I'm saying, the mutual model federal the cap, you know what I'm saying, I'm straightening this bitch clean the fuck out. Well, of course, they ain't gonna let me do that because, you know what I'm saying, to get that kind of chief and commander seat without being, probably destroyed by it. You know what I'm saying? But I would have had this country on top shape, and all would be prosperity in my United States. The borders would be secure 100%, and there ain't gonna be no talk. And immigration, what it is and is not, is going to be on full bloom. You know what I'm saying? The border's gonna be closed down. There's no more crossing, and all that's in here now is going to be, you know what I'm saying, put forward to a process that they have to check in. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to know what's coming in. So that shows you how crypto Biden is not going to do that. That's the same thing if you lived in let's say, an island by yourself and you had established that island government, so forth and so on. And you knew the economical status of that island. And then all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, 500 billion people just started running through some trickery the government played into your country. You know what I'm saying? You know that's going to be a strain. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start to look at the creepy things that this man has done, even the foreign lobbying and giving documents, giving away of their top secret documents of his administration to foreigners, foreign lobbying, giving them the documents right out of the White House, secret documents and all that. This is why they tried to trump that up on Trump. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they had got caught with that one as well. As the great Joe Brown has brought to our knowledge, that it keeps leading back to where he was even leading people to those documents in his garage behind the Corvette. You know who I'm talking about, the creep himself. Creepy not bad, but you gotta understand, he's a part of all this conspiratorial shit. You know what I'm saying? And it has to lead to more than just him when you look at the things that he had been doing over the years, even before he was a vice president. You know what I'm saying? We have to go back and look at all of that now, you know what I'm saying? Because his legacy cannot stand in the United States. So in the United States, you can keep all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? It cannot stand. And his history really should be stricken from the record. You know what I'm saying? Him, Gore, and many other candidates as well. You know what I'm saying? Should be completely stricken from the record. Even Bush Jr., his legacy and should be stricken from the record. Obama, stricken from the record. You know what I'm saying? Hillary Clinton, you know what I'm saying? Bill Clinton, stricken from the record. You know what I'm saying? Because all those have been doing is passing the baton along with Soros, you know what I'm saying? And many other oligarchs and people that you don't really see, but we don't give a flying fuck. You know what I'm saying? What is they could make the same amount of millions of dollars, but we're talking about taking care of the American people and paying for what you have fucked up when it came to even the black people. You know what I'm saying? You owe us. You know what I'm saying? But the United States right now needs to put things into perspective and do some security measures and protocols. You know what I'm saying? Because right now we need some reconnaissance. You know what I'm saying? We need people out there doing a whole bunch of reconnaissance, you know what I'm saying, and seeing what's really going on and keeping an eye on things because we have billions of people that this man has led into our country, you know what I'm saying, under the pretense of asylum seeking, which he's lying, and there was no asylum seeker. The governments of probably the 34 nations and many other nations who's involved in the deep statistical leadership garbage of each of those countries, you know what I'm saying, in bed with the creep Joe nutcase ass jackass Biden and the demon Democrats and whoever else is sucking on his nuts, you know what I'm saying, in the deep state of wherever they are, secret society, whatever, you know what I'm saying, has put this peril on our back, you know what I'm saying, and have been doing it for years. So we know that. We know that. But what we need to do is to clean it up. You know what I'm saying? I was going to say some other joint, but I'm going to leave it be for now. So this is Point Blank saying, stay ready, stay tight, stay in the fight. Can't go solid into the night. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad that much Americans and many other United States people, citizens have been tricked and even hurt in a form of a replacement in this matter based on, you know what I'm talking about, have been done to them because they have been lined up and taken it. So, you know what I'm saying, it's very sad to see that has happened, and that's your reward for, you know, your reward for basically what I would call your hard work. Even some of your ancestors who fought on battlefields, this is your hard work agenda that you have been left with as a thank you with an eagle in your butt. And this is what people have to understand. This is your reward for being an American, you know what I'm saying, and standing up and so on. So right now we need a candidate who's going to do the right thing. You know what I'm saying? We don't need no biblical aspect and biblical games of revelation and all kinds of this and that. This is not about that. Because even if you didn't have the book, it'd still be the same shit. Even if you didn't have the religion or whatever you follow, it'll be the same shit. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start looking at things from a brighter and more realistic perspective. So this is Point Blank saying, stay right, stay tight, stay in the fight, and I'll see you in another flight. So, farewell. One. We will meet again.